Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kendall. Today, I want to talk about a fountain pen database, or at least that's what I'm calling it. It's really a spreadsheet, but database sounds better. So, um, I want to talk about what it is and what it isn't. I want to talk about like how I'm putting it together, what my thoughts are, or methodology I'm using, and then lastly, how other people can use it. And yeah, so I will share my screen so we can follow along, and uh, we'll jump in.
All right, let's see how this works. So I am sharing my screen here. This database actually started a while back when I was looking into Chinese fountain pens, which are a lot of times highly inspired by or knockoffs of others. And I made a whole video on Chinese fountain pens, and I was putting together a list, what I called the quote master list of Chinese pens. Since that point, I've just decided this would be great just to have a master list of all pens, basically a fountain pen database. And I wanted to talk about what that means because I don't know. Um, I want the right message out there about what it is and what it isn't. So we'll dive into that. We'll dive into the methodology here and then how people can use it. So, first thing I should mention is that I'm not striving for perfection. I do feel like perfect is the enemy of good, and it's better to have something that's useful to me and others in the fountain pen community versus trying to get everything 100% right. Um, it will never be quote complete, but that's okay. And I just feel like this is something that should exist and it would be a helpful resource. So I'm not aware of anything quite like this, but maybe there is something that I should be aware of. So if you know, please let me know. And this is just my way of trying to, provide value and give back to the community. Um, it's not something that, um, I'm not looking for any special status or income from this or anything else. In fact, I think this is something others can chip in and help if they want to or are available. A few other things this won't have. I'm not designing this in a way to say it will stay up to date with all of the new colorways of a pen. I think that's just a lot of work with not a lot of added value to it. Similar like special editions, um, things like that, it could get out of hand really easy. So as an example, you would have, one row for uh, Lamy Safari instead of, you know, who knows how many. Um, and this is being built as we go, so it will not have every small maker out there. It may not even have every large brand maker pen too, or all the vintage pens that have ever been made. But I think if we build it as we go, we can see how beneficial this will be. Okay, so I think Google Sheets does have some limitations, but to me it's very useful to share. So I've got this spreadsheet set up so that anyone with a link can see it, can comment on it, and uh, on the screen here, I just want to kind of use these 5 pens as examples to show you the fields, the various columns. And then I would love input on, maybe something should be changed. I am very open to that. I'm better with Excel than I am Google Sheets. So there might be something that I'm missing as far as a function that could be used. So I'm open to input that way as well. Okay, so I have filtered, you can see this filter symbol, to just show these ones with images. And as imperfect as these images are, it's better than nothing. And I had this before without images, and I just feel like it's nice to have an image of the pen. And so I've just picked some that I think would be cool looking. And full disclosure, I did not shoot these photos myself. These were just grabbed off of the internet. I'm not pretending to, say that I didn't steal these images, but at the same time, I'm not charging for access to this. I'm not trying to make money off of it. So I don't feel bad about using, screen captured images. So, all right, let's talk about the fields. So we have the brand here, as you can see. We've got the model and then an image. Any of these that don't have a filter means that it's just showing everything for that row. The filling system. So we've got a vacuum, we've got cartridge converter, we've also got piston. There's a few other choices. So you can see the response is limited to the options here. So we've got lever fill, we've got eyedropper, spring. I think I had that for TWSBI. So this can be expanded, but for now these are the choices. If we move over, in fact, maybe let's freeze this so that we can keep the pen in mind as we're going. Oops, I didn't want that. I wanted it up through C. Sorry. Okay. And we can just hide these for now. All right, very good. Sorry about that. So we've got the filling system, the capping method. So we've got screw, snap, or capless as an example. I thought this would be helpful as well. How many, twist on cap? This one is less than 2. I mean, I could get more detailed with this and say, 1 1/4, 1 1/2. I just felt like, less than 1, less than 2, less than 3, less than 4, and then 4 or more. I feel like that's all part of the same thing. But I'm open to debate on that. And then not applicable also for snap cap or retractable. Okay, and we have a description. This is really the most customizable field that you can put anything in here. For the ASVEN, I've got that it comes in a gold or silver design overlay. You could add a lot of details of what colorways there are, how the nib feels. I mean, really, you could do a lot. This one I just wanted to mention there was a clip or a clipless version, that it's a metal pen. Yeah, I don't have anything on the Diplomat Magnum because I don't have one actually. But yeah, we've got transparent aluminum accent colors. And really this text could go on and on and on, and really you can still just have this column resized so it's not getting in the way. Okay, posts well. To me, this is an important thing. So I've got not applicable, yes, no, and not really. I thought that would be useful enough. Okay, so we've got some lengths here. We've got the length that is when it's capped, the length that is when it's not posted, and the length that is when it is posted. To me, I feel like those are really the 3 important measurements. I feel like you could have measurements for all kinds of things, but I just feel like I just want to limit this to the most useful. Okay, now measurement wise, we have lengths, we also have some diameters. So diameter of the section, I feel like that's important, as well as the barrel. And these are a little subjective because the section can taper, the barrel can taper. So, I mean, I'm just saying, I think a good example of this as being here, it does have kind of an hourglass shape in that section. I'm taking the narrowest piece because that's kind of where your fingers would be the most natural. Similar to the barrel, just taking a guess as to like the widest part where it transitions from the section. But again, this isn't meant to be perfect. So, all right, let's move on to ink capacity. This one is also subjective because if you have, say, a cartridge versus a converter, well, I'm just doing the biggest one. So if there's one is higher, I'll put that in, just the maximum ink that it can hold. Now we've got total weight and the weight unposted. I think those are really the only two you need. And then you can subtract the two to get the weight of the cap if you want. All right, let's move on to price. So estimated price. This one I chose to go less than 25, 25 to 50, 50 to 75, 75 to 100. So basically every $25 up until 100, then I jump from 100 a piece up to 5, and then I go from 200, so 5 to 7, then from 7 to 1,000 and 1,000 plus. Again, I'm open for debate on this, but I felt like this was handy. Inspired by some of these, like this Moonman A1 is very much a knockoff or inspired by the Vanishing Point. So I feel like that was a useful thing, and in fact, that was part of the origins of this spreadsheet because I was curious about those, but a lot of these will be not applicable. And some of these are tricky because you can have several pens that are inspired by each other. And anyway, well, that's a whole nother topic, but that's what this column is for. And then the country. This is also a little tricky too because you might have headquarters in one country and manufacturing in another. You could have a company that used to be in the US but now is in the UK. All kinds of changes or ways you could define this. For me, it's just useful to see because if I'm looking for Chinese pens, generally that means something to me. So I'm filtering this based on Chinese pens, or Italian pens tend to have a different flair. So I don't know. As useful as it might be, it might not be useful for some. So okay, so what do we have? In this case, I've gone through the columns, talked a little bit about those. So I am seeking input. I want to know maybe there's a better way to do something here in Google Sheets, or maybe I shouldn't be using Google Sheets. Are there columns that you would change? Are there criteria you would change? Something like, say, price range or other things. And then I am interested if people want editing access. I'm very willing to do that so people can get in and make edits. I'm actually not too afraid of someone making a mistake because Google Sheets, there is a history tracking that you can see. And mistakes happen anyway. It's not, I don't think people in the community would be trying to delete things or make problems. So that said, if you have editing access, you can filter things, change things, but just know that the view that you have is changing for everyone else. So if you all clicked on this spreadsheet right now, you would also see this filtered like this and what I've got here. So If you're wanting just to influence your own view, then you can go to Data and you can add a filtered view. And if you do that, anything you do on this screen is only showing to you. It's not showing to other people. So say you want to filter this and only see German pens as an example. Well, now you are seeing German pens. I have this, these other views hidden, but yeah. So you are only seeing German pens, but anyone else that logs into the spreadsheet is seeing what they want to see. You're not changing their view. So I think filtered view is an option, and that way it's only affecting yourself. So, and then you can save those and have different views if you wanted. You can also download a copy of this. So you can go to File. Actually, you can make a copy or download a copy. Let's do make a copy first. You make a copy. It's still a Google Sheet, so it still has a lot of the same functionality. I don't believe it updates though, so just know that your copy is going to stay the same. And as people are adding things, you're not going to have that in that copy. Similar to downloading. So you can download Excel or Open Office or something else, but you're going to have a static version of what it was at the time. So those are good things to know. And okay, I think I covered all of those aspects. So I am interested in your questions, and I'm interested in making this as good as I can for other people. So don't be shy, and feel free to chip in. Hopefully you found some value in this, so thanks.
Okay, thanks for watching, and I'm curious what you think. I'm curious if you know other resources that I can use, or I'm curious if you've got recommendations, the things I've brought up as we've gone through this video. So, what am I missing? What columns do you recommend changing, or any other input that way? As I think the biggest thing is I want something that's useful for the fountain pen community. And then if you have questions on how to use it or any other questions that way. So thank you for watching. Please hit the like button. That helps me a lot. And then please subscribe. I appreciate that as well. Also, comments do help the YouTube algorithm. So you may think, well, this is a dumb comment. Leave it anyway. I love all comments. So thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you later on.